But if you're in a new industry, if you're a marketer coming into a new place that you don't really know, you mentioned curating your feed. Talk about that a little bit more, because I think that's something that a lot of marketers miss or forget or just don't do on LinkedIn or really any other platform. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, when I joined Dually, and because it's fresh, I can say it can happen really fast. Actually, like the algorithm moves really fast, based on whatever you've done that day or that week. And so for instance, when I first came on, I knew my boss and some of my coworkers, and specifically, the salespeople at my org, that they were going to be already connected to our audience and to our customers. And so for me, it was kind of just starting with connecting with all of my colleagues and coworkers, and then LinkedIn will naturally show you, oh, okay, so Mark liked this, Zoe liked this, Ryan liked this. And so as like they would like these types of posts, I would try and, connect with those same people, or at least engage in their posts and follow them. And so kind of taking advantage of the algorithm and how there are the 7 degrees or 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon, kind of thinking about it like that, of like, okay, let's start with like the close connections that I already have, like my coworkers in this case, that I know are connected to salespeople, and then see in my feed, and just be very aware of why this stuff is in my feed, because at the top it'll say, Zoe liked this post, Ryan liked this post and stuff. And so paying attention to why they liked those things, especially if it was a salesperson from our org liking that, that tells me a little bit about the content that they like. But then two, taking the opportunity to connect with that person, and to consume their content as well.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the other things I'll throw out there too is, what we'll usually do is, or at least I'll go in and go after specific keywords, hashtags, etc., and go, just because it's easy, especially it's easier for us because we work with a bunch of different clients, so our feeds are maybe have a little more diversity to them. But if you're internal to an org, your feed can become very insular to a certain extent. I think it's important to also go out there and specifically seek out, okay, let's look at what salespeople from these other, whatever, top 3 big companies in the industry that we're targeting are talking about, right? And connecting with them. Things like that. So purposefully curating your feed, I think, like you said, is critical.
Yeah, no, that gave me a couple other tips, I guess, too. So I think that's a good one about following the hashtags. Sometimes those can overtake my feed. I don't like the balance that they've struck there.
I really follow the hashtags as much as using the hashtags to find the people who are in there, and then following the specific people.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I think some other things were, what pages or groups are they in, within that community? So for instance, on LinkedIn, sales humor and daily sales, those are ones that we partner with anyways. But I also know they're big hubs, for salespeople. And so that gives you some insight into the content that they're consuming, what, even just being in the comments of those, gives you a lot of insight. So that was another one that I'll bring up, is groups within the groups, right? So even if you're in a community, there's probably a sub community in there, and social, especially, it can be through hashtags or it can be through groups, but sub communities within the community.